Comes as the Illinois General Assembly approved new electoral maps that would have forced a primary with a fellow incumbent Republican congressman. WGN's Mike Lowe is here now with the details. Mike.
Lourdes and Ben, good afternoon to both of you. Kinzinger became a well-known figure last year, largely because of his outspoken criticism of former President Donald Trump. He was one of the rare Republicans to speak out against what he saw as abuses and even voted to impeach the former president.
In Congress, I've witnessed how division is heavily rooted. There's little to no desire to bridge our differences, and unity is no longer a word we use. It has also become increasingly obvious to me that in order to break the narrative, I cannot focus on both a re-election to Congress and a broader fight nationwide.
Adam Kinzinger, the six-term congressman from southwest suburban Channahon, posted a nearly 5-minute video on Twitter Friday morning, making the surprise announcement that he would not seek re-election in 2022. But he hinted he still believes he has a role in national politics.
I want to make it clear, this isn't the end of my political future, but the beginning. My desire to make a difference is bigger than it's ever been.
The 43-year-old Air Force veteran was praised by Democrats and pilloried by fellow Republicans over the last year after voting to impeach then-President Donald Trump.
The president must now relinquish control of the executive branch voluntarily or involuntarily.
His decision to serve on the House committee investigating how Trump supporters attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6th has infuriated those loyal to the former president.
But democracies are not defined by our bad days. We're defined by how we come back from bad days.
Kinzinger represents parts of the northwest suburbs, from Rockford all the way to downstate Ford County, more than 100 miles south of Chicago. Last night, the Illinois General Assembly approved a new electoral map that redraws congressional districts. Kinzinger's 16th district now includes parts of the old 18th district, represented by three-term Congressman Darren LaHood. If Kinzinger had decided to seek re-election, it would have set the two Republicans on a primary collision course.
Because of Kinzinger, what he announced, LaHood is not going to have any competition. You know, LaHood, that's a very big name in central Illinois.
And Kinzinger says he will finish his current term, which will keep him in Congress until January of 2023. What's next? Well, there are already some speculating that he could run for the U.S. Senate or even the presidency as a sort of John McCain-style Republican, a conservative military veteran unafraid to speak against his own party. He's even using the McCain campaign slogan for his new political effort called Country First. Now, coming up at 6 o'clock, we will hear from two Democratic incumbents who now find themselves as rivals because of this new redistricting. Back to you.
And that's a hot topic as well. Okay, thank you, Mike. Well, let's move on to